Good evening, my fellow UMRL enthusiasts, and welcome to the penultimate round of the Spring 2025 season. My name is Larry, and I am back for just this round for now for the German Grand Prix around the Sachsenring. We're going to have 47 laps around this high-speed circuit. We got 13 corners on this one, 10 to the left and only 3 to the right as we watch Laguno going through 2 out of 3. The end to the lap is a very exciting one, as is the start. Very technical part. Lots of wheel-to-wheel action there strategically. And then it's flat out all the way until turn 12, the iconic Saxon curve. Maybe that's flat if you're brave. Yes, I think Laguno just got it done. Guillermo holds provisional pole position. Laguno now beats it and also smooth operator. Laguno has managed to clinch the championship last time out at his home Grand Prix, number 3 at Valencia. And he's won every single one. Into the 4th lap around this very short track. That's the reason why we have this many laps around here. I think it's the shortest that UMRL has ever visited. Smooth operator on provisional pole position. You still can't see the correct times to the left of your screen. Now you can see them. Smooth operator at the top for Hurricane Racing Team. Very quick driver. If he's already raced in this league as well. Of course, I'm not as much up to date as I'd like to be normally when I commentate. Yes, he's raced at round 6 and 7 already. And he's not been that close to the top as he is right now ever before. Now we see the times. Smooth operator is on pole position. 200ths ahead of Pigeon and 500ths ahead of Laguno. Krasnet is also back in the top format. He's not only back on the Discord, but also back in the Ultimate Mobile Racing League, as it seems. And Pigeon is taking pole position away from Smooth Operator, another 500ths deducted from the time. And Pigeon get pole again. That's something he's very good at. Not so much at converting the results, but he has also taken a podium this season. I think it is going uphill for him right now. And Smooth Operator has tied with the Briton in the LSA Porsche. That's the grid that we are seeing also for the race. So Smooth Operator actually starts ahead. We don't always have to look at that. No one advocated for a change here. So we got Smooth Operator taking pole position for Hurricane Racing Team. I think that's the first time ever that this has happened. Cato has never got a pole position in this league. Yeah, this team has been through a lot. I think Seb raced for them now. I think last time at Valencia. Normally he's driving for Etruria, as he is this weekend. But anyway, Majumdar P3, Krasnet in 4th position. That means the Laguno is starting down in 5th. Also out-qualified by his teammate and the Spaniard that finished ahead of him in the championship last season. Guillermo, our no longer reigning champion, I would say, is in 6th position, first of the Eturias today. Matt in 7th position in the 2nd LSA Porsche. They look solid for this race, and as well as Williams. Then we got Lemmert, also the 101st. I've got 2 cars at the top. Lemmert making his debut. Let's see what he can do. He qualifies ahead of Toaster 64 already. Then we got Rondo, UMRL graduate in the 2nd Hurricane Racing Team. I think they might be up to a few points today if a few things go their way. Then we got Seb in P11, Glow P12 in the only one time on the grid. Oski makes his return for the first time since the autumn 2024 season. Valencia Traumas, I don't think that he's racing. Neither does the rest, apart from Ali Herman maybe, who would start from the back of the grid for Jaguar. I think the mixture for a bit of chaos is there. The soft tires are going to last 10 to 16 laps around here. the mediums 13 to 19, and the hards 17 to 23. Now let's see the grid for the second ever German Grand Prix in UMRL live in action. Also, this was recorded with my new microphone, which should sound pretty good, I hope. But the next part isn't, because that's still recorded with my phone. Because I'm stupid. We are on the starting grid for the German Grand Prix in UMRL. It is round 9. Smooth Operator lines up alongside Pigeon, and we go into the first corner together, the Coca-Cola corner as we call it. And Smooth Operator is still in P1. Magendar is up into second position. Then we got Pigeon in P3. What is Laguno, the championship leader and winner, doing? He is fighting with the two 101st cars. He is right up there with Krosnet going through the Saxon curve and into the last corner for the first time. And that is Smooth Operator getting caught up. Somehow he's lost the lead to Magendar, and the French driver hits the front in the Williams. Laguno now in P3. Then we got Smooth Operator Krosnet in 5th position, now racing with his compatriot. These two have played a very big part in the previous season already as well, and this the third Spaniard, Guillermo, is also racing with them. Round the outside, he goes in the Etruria and past Laguno. Magendar and Pigeon have managed to set themselves apart from the rest. Magendar from 3rd up into the lead after 3 laps. It's not the longest of laps around here. Pigeon has made a mistake. Krosnet, Laguno and Guillermo are charging towards him, and that is going to be very difficult for him to defend. Are we going to go round the outside of Pigeon as we enter this section of flat out corners on this track? And yes, we are. Laguno up into P2 makes it a Williams 1-2 for the moment. Pigeon's trying to come back into turn 13. Laguno is off the track and onto the grass on the straight, and loses all 3 positions there. Pigeon is defending for all his might, but that only against Guillermo, and the other two managed to slip through. Laguno once again being forced out, and Smooth Operator comes back. Once again Laguno's pushed off, and this is giving me Season 2 flashbacks, where Laguno has lost many positions, always at the start. He has been caught up in the pack this time around. But that is very unusual to see that happen this season, where he has won every single race that he's competed in again. And that streak has still continued. He's now down into 11th position. We do have to look at the front though. Krosnet's gone up into 2nd. Pigeon's still in there once again, maybe having a look into the final corner where he thinks better of it. Last time it paid off, but only because Laguno has been forced off. And now Krosnet's made a mistake in turn 2. And Guillermo also trying to pull alongside, but Krosnet's already inherited the inside to Pigeon. And we go wheel to wheel through turn 12, the Saxon curve. Probably the most iconic one on this track. But Magendar with a 2.6 second gap, because there's an absolutely crazy fight just going on behind him. And we got Matt 3rd in the championship, making a mistake. No, sorry, that's Pigeon, that's his teammate, losing the positions to Krust and Guillermo, but they are really holding up each other right here. As we might see the first pit stops being made soon, if someone wants to get out of this pack, go into clean air. The field spread is quite low, so they might come out at the back of the pack. I'm not sure if that is too good though, because I don't think they're gonna have much clean air if they pit. But anyway, 10 to 16 laps on the softs is quite a big span of lifetime, so they could also go really long. Yeah, Lemmert is it his first race? It seems like it. He is in P7 and fighting with Seb right there in the Etruria. I think he's raced for Hurricane Racing Team while I wasn't here, at least in one race. But Lemmert is coming back at Seb into the first corner, goes very deep, but there's no way for Seb to go through there. But in turn 3, he passes him again, where we continue on wheel to wheel through the flat out sections. They give each other just enough room, but Seb somehow manages to squeeze through. And he goes into the pit lane anyway, though, now. Who else is in there? There's both of the LSA Porsche cars and also Guillermo. Oh, no, sorry, that is Seb. Guillermo's put on the mediums right at the start, as Rondo leaves the race and becomes our first retirement. Glow is also in the pit lane, but he is still carrying on in P13 right now, as Krusnet and Majumdar also pit from the front. And Guillermo now into P1. The medium tires might now bring him a slight advantage, because he's managed to stay with the rest, even though he's on the slower compound that lasts longer. And also Lammert in P2 right now, just because he's on the mediums. Let's see how long he can defend from Majumdar. Not long. He absolutely sweeps through in turn 1. Well, that looked like he took the corner a lot quicker than you normally should. It's almost like Verstappen did today in F1. That's crazy. And yeah, Krasnit's teammate of Lammert, they're not gonna hold each other up for too long, as Krasnit sets a new personal best in this race. Guillermo holds the fastest lap right now, even though he's on the mediums. Laguno in 5th position, so he has kind of recovered already. He's on hard tires now. Only Smooth Operator and also Ali Hermond, who hasn't pitted yet, are on this set. And then the two LSAs behind Laguno, not looking like they are on course for the podium right now, but they are very close. Let's see if they can really stay with Laguno. It requires a lot of teamwork to do that at the very least. And then also some pace, but they managed to catch the slipstream now. And Matt with the soft tires sends it on our world champion. They keep it clean, but Laguno stays ahead. And into turn 8, Laguno very much to the inside, which sends him wide in the next two ones. And Laguno's going to have to go aggressive here. And that was too aggressive. And he had to let both of them through. The LSAs have cleared Laguno because they are on the quicker tires. And of course because they're really good drivers. But it's just very unusual to see Laguno fight with pretty much anybody here. Laguno immediately trying to regain the position against Pigeon, and he does so on lap 18 out of 47. It's a lot of laps around here. And Laguno also down the inside at turn 12 makes a very unusual move, even though he's on the tire with less straight line speed. He makes the move, and we now are wheel to wheel through turns 1 and 2. A lot of respect being shown by both of them. And Pigeon tried to snatch it away by just waiting behind that with a huge bag of popcorn. And Laguno is gonna try and do the same thing just one lap later. It looked like Matt was heading off into the grass, but they still keep it clean. And that allows Guillermo to get back into the fight on a fresh set of medium tires round the outside of turn 3, turns into the inside line in all of the 5 next corners. And also 6, 7 next corners. So yeah, huge advantage for him there in terms of the racing line. And that's worked out beautifully for him right now. Wheel to wheel into turn 1 between, our championship rivals, if you could call them like that, but you sadly can't. Guillermo being the second driver in the championship, but yeah, I don't know. Pretty much a pretty dead season also for him. Laguno is out of reach, but also he is better than the rest, I would say. And Krasnets made a second pit stop. He goes onto fresh softs and ends up in this in this huge pack right now. They are very much still on the same pace altogether. Only Majumdar, who now goes for his second pit stop, is really making a difference today in the Williams. As also Lemmert goes past him for exactly one corner, and then Majumdar regains the position, but the Frenchman is behind all of the drivers that I was just talking about are on pretty much the same pace. And Guillermo, just like when the soft drivers pitted for the first time, is in the lead, but it's looking better and better for him. He is the only other race winner this season so far. He won the Brazilian Grand Prix. Apart from that, it's 3 second places, 1 third place for him. And he might be on for something great here if Laguna is being held up for much longer, but it doesn't look like he is. But yeah, now there's gonna be a difficult situation for Williams. Nikhil probably having to cling onto his chair right now. And Laguna lets past Majumdar. Older hard tires for the champion, so it's a pretty clear situation if you're being rational. But I mean, Laguna is the clear number one in that team, you have to say. It doesn't look like it today, as Krasnitz and Guillermo make a mistake in synchronized fashion out of the last corner. They are being chased by Majumdar, who's on fresh softs. Krasnitz softs are a bit older. Yeah, I find it great to see Krasnitz back in the seat, by the way, because he left at the end of last season, and I haven't commentated a race from him ever since. It's great to see him immediately back up there. The Spaniards really still defining this league. Also Majumdar, who is now in the slipstream of Guillermo, who covers off the inside in turn 1, but that is a fatal error, because then Majumdar can just carry a lot more speed through turn 2, and he is up into P2 on lap 29, and now there's no defense left for Krasnitz other than his own racecraft, as Laguna tries to pass Guillermo as well. Very slippery tires for the pair of them. The order in the championship is the exact other way around. Is Laguna trying to re-establish that order right now, or is he just taking the slipstream and just trying to get to the pit lane as quickly as possible? He's shown the outside line in turn 12. Let's have a look at the rest of the field. Actually, Toast 64 in the Aston is doing a great job. I think he's also improved throughout the season again. Yeah, he has. 2 consecutive P4s. Still no podium in his career, but it's looked really good ever since I left. Now Laguna is going into the pits for his final stop, and that's gonna bring him pretty far down the order. Actually, Matt is completely in the gravel in turn 3, and that allows Seb in the second Etruria to go wheel to wheel with him through all these flat corners, and he gets the inside for the Saxon curve, and also 5th position. That was a fatal error, and Matt could feel it throughout this entire lap. And Guillermo has now also pitted. He's quite a lot further up than Laguna. but also left with some work to do, as Lambert and Matt are also scrapping for the same position. Into the last corner, Guillermo having to go defensive even though he wants to look ahead to his teammate first. There's not going to be a lot of fighting there, I suppose, but actually Seb is also on pretty fresh softs. Actually quite an unsighted drive from him today, as Lemmer tries to position his car on the inside of Guillermo in turn 12. Can't pull it off as my screen has gone black for just a few seconds. I apologize. And Seb is really close to Majumdar as well. Yeah, Krasnet pitting also for the third time now. They've all done their last stop. And they're really in the fight as Lambert is really stirring up the two Etrurias here down the inside of turn 13. And what a job he is doing on the softs. Down the inside goes Guillermo. Seb is now the second Etruria on the road. But Lambert is really in this fight as well now. Great to see the 101st really have a resurgence now in the second half of the spring season. And Guillermo goes wide. It's a good run out of the last corner for both of them. Lambert, though, having to go the long way round of turn 1. But he goes around the outside of Guillermo in turn 3 because he made the same mistake as Matt a few laps earlier, and that was a very costly one. And now we see Laguno and Guillermo go wheel to wheel once again in this race. Really, everybody is up against everyone at some point in this race, and I think that is a great thing. Guillermo still stays ahead of Laguno in the Williams. And Toaster is also watching this. Is Laguno gonna go all the way around the outside? Yes, he is, and he manages to get the inside line. But once again, the same mistake we saw in a battle earlier. Laguno goes too wide in turn 8 then. And gives Guillermo the inside for the last of these left-handers that are flat out. And the fight still goes on. I would say the advantage moves to Laguna and maybe also to Toaster as we progress through this race. At the front, it is 5 seconds for Krasnet. What a job from him in these last 2 stints. Now having a clear lead over Majumdar. Their tires look to be of the same age, but I don't think that the soft tire advantage is going to be enough for Majumdar, and that advantage is going to disappear towards the very end. It's still Guillermo, Laguno and Toaster in that order, but Guillermo making a mistake in the flat turn 8. That is not a nice thing to see. And Laguno and Toaster go wheel to wheel through turn 12. Toaster also touching the grass. Laguno now at the front of this pack. Guillermo in the middle. And Toaster once again is left in P5. Then we got Lambert now in P6 along with Seb. So in terms of strategy, they still ended up behind that. And now Toaster has done something great outside of my screen. Passing the top 2 in the championship and going up into P3. A net podium right now for the Briton in the British-Belgian team. Of course, Aston Martin actually from the UK, but the team owner here is Oski, who is also racing, by the way, down in P11. Wow, there's the German language coming through, because I just read the name Ale Hermann, who's in P10 for Jaguar. But yeah, we got Lambert, Matt, Seb, Pigeon absolutely falling off, and also Matt in the other LSA. And Ale also inside the top 10. Then Oski and Smooth Operator still bringing home points as it stands, and Glow ending up with nothing right now. But wow, look at this pack. Look at P3 down to P8, separated by nothing. They are all on the same straight right here. 2 laps to go in this one. Still the gap is solid at the front, and I think that it's gonna go more towards Krosnitz now anyways, based on tires. And Laguno now wants to at least bring home the podium. But this is going to be the first race in which he competes and doesn't win ever since... I can look this up. Ever since Austria at least, or maybe even back to Piggy's win in Italy last season. But that is crazy to see. Krasnit rounds the final corner at the Sachsenring and wins the German Grand Prix. He is back on top, and that for the 101st, as he does the donuts in turn 1. The penultimate round goes to the driver that finished second in the championship last season. Second place by Maginder, who started this race incredibly strong. Also had like a 5-second lead all the time, but in the end the coin flipped towards Krosnet. Still, it is a 5-second gap between Maginder and Laguno, who only manages to take P3, and I think this is the first race since Italy last season, that is 14 races, where Laguno does compete and not win. Just 1 second separate the top 2 in the championship on the road today. Toaster never came so close to a podium so far. I think he was really fighting with these 2 ahead of him. And Lemmert, what a performance in the end. Seb as well, I think they got the strategy a bit wrong, but you could see that they are actually really fast also in that later stage of the race. Matt and Pigeon, the LSA Porsche cars, at the front at the start, and then they really fell off, I would say. And Ali Herman rounds out the top 10, but wow, they were packed together. 11th position goes to Oski. He brings home points in his first race since season 2. Smooth Operator goes down to P12 from first on the grid. Hurricane Racing Team not getting the big points that they would have needed so much. And Glow not scoring points for one time. And our only DNF today was Rondo, also in the Hurricane Racing Team. And now we just have 1 round left in our Spring 2025 campaign. Laguno has already won it. Guillermo is in P2, solid as ever. And yeah, I think we'll now count as the second most successful driver in UMRL. If we look at the final standings, Maginder also in P3 for Williams. We're gonna look at the team's championship in a few moments. Matt is just 2 points behind his compatriot though, and wants to take the top 3 home for LSA Porsche, a team which will no longer exist next season. Let's see if the Leviosa Sports Art name will at least stay in this league. Seb is in 5th position. He was up there last season already as well. He might have expected more, but in the end he was nowhere near a title fight this season. He is just 4 points ahead of Toaster64. The Aston Martin driver has improved a bit since I left, but still hasn't scored a podium. Then Fede didn't race today. Cato did qualify today, but I didn't see him in the race anymore. That's a fair point. And Elkrak in 9th position, 3 points behind Cato with 2 second places yet again. And also Pigeon still in the battle for 8th. It looks like it's more down to the attendance between these guys, but maybe they are willing to fight for that position in the final race at Sao Paulo. But arguably there will be more important things to fight for at Sao Paulo as well in the team's championship. Williams is on 323 points, 33 ahead of Vittoria Racing Team, the Constructors champions from last season. If Vittoria scores a 1-2 finish, they would still need Williams to score a maximum of 12 points. Porsche is in P3, didn't have many other teams to fight with. Aston Martin now has to deal with the 101st still. They are only 9 points behind after scoring big points. this round. Join us when the Ultimate Mobile Racing League returns in this iconic finale.